CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Our top story tonight, a 15-year-old has been charged with assault following a violent brawl behind a local school involving a weapon. CTV's Jack Morris has been looking into the incident. He joins us live tonight with more. Jack, at this point, what do we know?
Well, Sarah, according to police, this was a pre-planned fight between a group of teens. Now, officers are still working to identify everyone involved, and there may still be more arrests. In particular, police are looking for this young man who came to the fight with a weapon.
Believed to be a machete in a sheath. We're not sure. We haven't recovered that, and we're not sure of the identity of the person who was in possession of that.
These are screenshots from a video obtained by CTV News. In it, he can be seen swinging the machete at other people involved in the fight. Police say it never came out of its sheath, the protective covering, usually leather, wood, or fabric, that keeps the blades sharp, free of dirt, and protects the user while they're wearing the machete.
It's always concerning when a call involving a weapon occurs near a school. This appears to be a planned and isolated incident.
At least half a dozen people were involved in the fight. They can be seen punching, wrestling, and kicking each other. The school called police, but by the time officers arrived, most of the teens had fled. They also identified a 17-year-old injured in the brawl who didn't seek medical attention. No charges have been laid against him yet. Police are still looking for suspects.
There's definitely people out there with information that can identify the perpetrators that are involved in this.
They're asking anyone who witnessed the fight or was involved in it to come forward. Now, Sarah, despite that, police say that there's no evidence this was anything other than a planned fight, and they don't see any broader threat to public safety out of this incident. Reporting live, I'm Jack Morris. Sarah.
Okay, thanks for that, Jack. We'll continue to follow that case for any updates. Police in Huntsville are on the lookout for suspects wanted in a series of break-ins. Officers are investigating 4 separate incidents between March 27th and April 4th at businesses in both Huntsville and Lake of Bays. Police say surveillance video captured suspects wearing dark clothing, with one case involving a white pickup truck and another a silver sedan. Anyone with information is urged to contact OPP. Now to the ongoing trial of a man accused of attempted murder. Today, the victim, a Wasaga Beach man, testified about the moments he was attacked. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports, but first a warning. This story contains details that may be triggering.
5 horrifying minutes relived by a now 47-year-old Wasaga Beach man who testified he was the victim of a vicious attack, pointing the finger at 24-year-old Kaylin Coote of Toronto, who was charged with attempted murder. He recalled seeing 2 men wearing hoods and masks breaking into his Wasaga Beach home in February of 2022, telling the jury one of the masked men pointed a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. He said the gun did not fire a shot. The complainant told the court a second man bashed him with a metal cooking pot before stabbing him while he was unconscious on the floor. He recalled waking up to find stab wounds all over his body. He identified Coote as the shorter masked man who attacked him, saying he knew the man as Little D, testifying they had an argument about an e-bike the complainant tried to sell to buy drugs. The complainant admitted to stealing the accused's phone 2 days prior to the assault, saying his friends had stolen drugs from Little D and he kicked Little D in the face when he stole his cell phone. When asked by the Crown how he recognized his masked attacker, the complainant responded, his eyes, testifying the eyes never lie. I knew it was him, adding he recognized the attacker's voice. Defense lawyer Jazz Wadera tried to cast doubt on the man's testimony, asking the complainant about his addiction to fentanyl and crack cocaine in 2022. The defense asked the complainant about living in a trap house, often visited by drug dealers, and whether he recalled zip ties being used on him. The man said he remembered a gun being pointed in his face and coming in and out of consciousness. The trial is scheduled to continue tomorrow with further Crown witness testimony. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Barrie.
Every year on this day, the community gathers at CFB Borden for a ceremony and breakfast honoring the Battle of Vimy Ridge. This historic site was where many Canadian Expeditionary Force soldiers trained in trenches to prepare for the battle 109 years ago. The day is a time to reflect on their sacrifice and remember Canada's military heritage. And a new tribute to Canadian veterans has been unveiled in Wasaga Beach on this Vimy Ridge Day. The town revealed its first veteran commemorative mural created by local artists honoring service members from across generations along with elements of the Army, Navy and Air Force. The mural is part of the town's veteran recognition program to recognize those who have served. It is the first of 2 murals planned for this year. The second will be installed later this spring. It has been over a year since local maple syrup producers faced uncertainty after the ice storm dramatically limited production. Well, as CTV's Luke Samard tells us, some are now taking the time to reflect on the season.
On the heels of last year's ice storm, maple syrup producers are reflecting on this season as it comes to a close.
We had thousands of branches ripped off during the ice storm, and when I walked through here in the summertime, there was a lot of sunlight coming into this forest, which is very unusual. So it made us pretty worried about how the season was going to go, and it's just unbelievable. I can't believe how it has produced.
Fallen trees and branches yet to be cleaned up as producers deal with less taps. Last year, Hutchinson Maple Syrup had more than 1,600 taps in trees. This year, only 570 trees were tapped.
Last year, an ice storm, it was just disaster here. We lost all our lines and everything. They got down in with so much trees on top of them and so on, we couldn't get them picked up.
With producers boiling their remaining sap.
This is one of our last boils. They're talking about some cold coming in the next couple of days. We might get a little bit more out of that, but basically the year is all over with now.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Agribusiness said the weather conditions have played a factor in a bounce-back season.
It's the amount of freeze-thaw cycles. That's the biggest impact on syrup yields. The little things like stresses the tree will feel through in previous seasons, those effects can be discernible, but they can easily get masked by a great production year.
High tariffs and international turmoil have increased some prices. However, the impact remains minimal.
Everything goes up. Our bottles and so on, it's gone up a wee bit, but everything keeps going up.
We're more of a localized business, so the exporting isn't really an issue for us. We do boil with oil, so that has gone up a little bit this year, but our evaporators are very efficient, and we use a reverse osmosis before we start to boil. So
producers at Shaw's and Hutchinson's Maple Syrup say they anticipate to continue tapping for a few more days as long as sap continues to flow. But with the temperatures trending upwards, the season will soon come to a close as the trees start to bud. Luke Samard, CTV News, Oro-Medonte.
It is a matchup about as even as it gets. Round 2 of the OHL playoffs begin tonight. That's where we find Rob Cooper live at the Sadlon Arena. Rob, what can we expect?
Good evening, Sarah. Everybody home. Very much the calm before the storm, before tonight's game, 7 o'clock game time. So still about 45 minutes or so to go before the puck drops. So what a second round matchup this has turned out to be. Barrie taking on the Ottawa 67s. Now the 67s actually had 1 point more than Barrie during the regular season, but the Colts ended up with home ice advantage because they won the division. That could be a big factor in what everyone is calling a very tight series going in. 2 evenly matched up clubs, of course. Keep in mind, Ottawa swept Kingston in the first round. Barrie took care of Niagara in 5 games. This morning, the Colts held a light skate in preparation for tonight's game. We caught up with some of the players, and they say they are ready to get going here in round 2.
A lot of it is staying consistent and kind of sticking to our game throughout the playoffs. A lot of the small details kind of vary team to team, but I think for us, big thing is just kind of sticking to our game and playing a full 60 minutes every night.
I expect them to give us a hard game. They've played well all year, and I don't expect it to be easy. But I expect us to give, all we got and give them a good game.
Yeah, some side notes to this series. Ottawa gave up the fewest goals in the regular season in the league. The 2 teams faced each other 4 times during the regular season, Sarah. The home team losing each one of those. All right, back live. You can see fans are now slowly starting to make their way into Sadlon Arena. Again, game time is 7 o'clock. Game 2 is back here in Barrie on Saturday evening. A little later in the show, we'll be catching up with Barrie's head coach, who, interestingly enough, is up for Coach of the Year award honors in the OHL. We'll speak to him about that. That's a little bit later, Sarah. Let's go back to you in the newsroom.
Thanks for that, Rob. Lots to talk about. A very exciting night for Colts fans. As Rob mentioned, we'll see him a little later in the newscast.
The road to the Memorial Cup is brought to you by the Boots and Hearts Barn Burner Charity Hockey Game.
Well, we received a little taste of spring today here in Barrie, but don't get too comfortable. The day brought a lovely high of 17 degrees, but tonight things are expected to take a turn, bringing a bit of a messy Friday into the region. Many, however, today were out by the waterfront enjoying the warmth while it lasts, as this is spring in Simcoe County after all. For a deeper dive into the forecast, let's head on out to Casey Colby. That looks like my blue hat.
I seem to be losing you, Sarah. I didn't hear anything about a hat. Okay, maybe, but perhaps it is. Perhaps it is just borrowing. I mean, that's what you do, right? You borrow an umbrella, you borrow a hat, you borrow a shovel. More on that coming up in just a few minutes' time. Let's talk about first look at the forecast, and here we go, taking a look at the forecast. Brought to you by our friends at the graveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. 11 degrees. We're sitting at 11 degrees, still double digits. Thank you very much, Mother Nature. Winds are out of the north, 19 kilometers an hour. Winds have changed, I might add. This is a look at the temperature outside your door. 17 degrees right now in Newmarket, 18 in Toronto, 17 in Mount Forest, 8 in Parry Sound, 12 in Gravenhurst, and I'll tell you right now, it's 11 degrees in the sunshine city of Aurelia. This is a look at the radar satellite images over the last little while, and yeah, some cloud cover, yeah, some showers, yeah, there's more where that came from. And coming up in just a few minutes' time, if you've got a toque handy tomorrow, Sarah, I may have to borrow that, because things are changing. And when I mentioned the shovel, of that one standing by, not for long, but I'll tell you for how much. All that in a few minutes' time.
See? This is why everyone should procrastinate and leave their winter tires on far too long, just like me. Thanks, Case. The province is making progress in its strive to bring back the Northlander train service. The first phase of testing is almost complete. The train traveling more than 1,600 kilometers in conditions simulating regular service. The second phase will see staff trained on equipment and operation. The Northlander will run from Timmins to Union Station in Toronto.
The Northlander is about more than transportation. It's about connecting people to life-changing opportunities and seniors to vital medical appointments. It's about helping students getting home to their loved ones, boosting tourism, supporting small businesses across the north, and getting miners and skilled workers to their work sites. Bringing the Northlander back means stronger towns and local industries along the entire route, and good jobs and economic growth across the north for generations to come.
The province adding the Northlander passenger rail service should be ready to return a little later this year. The Canadian Mental Health Association Simcoe County branch is opening the doors to a newly renovated youth space that was in Barrie today.
You're going to have to look at these pictures. I pulled up like old, well, it was an old slideshow.
This space was designed from a campaign that started 10 years ago called the Youth Shine campaign. This space is really great. It's bright. It's very peaceful. There's a calming sense.
I don't know.
Aimed at creating safe and welcoming spaces for young people, the updated facility on Ferris Lane features dedicated areas like a kitchen, quiet room, and program spaces. At the center of it all, a new youth-created mural reflecting creativity, healing, and a sense of community.
How grateful I am to a community that has been there from day one, to friends and family that have been there to support us, have run to us, not away from us, and of course Canadian Mental Health Association, which has been there since day one for us and has gotten us to this point where we never imagined we would be.
The renovations were made possible through community support. As demand for youth mental health support, it continues to grow. The annual Terry Fox Run isn't until September, but the planning starts today. It was the campaign kickoff. This year features a new collection of merchandise celebrating the communities that Terry ran through during his Marathon of Hope in 1980. The pieces are being promoted by Canadian icons like Michael Bublé, Sarah McLachlan, and Bryan Adams, with the proceeds from the sales going to the Terry Fox Foundation for Cancer Research. More than 3 million people take part in Terry Fox Runs every year. Registration for this fall opens on Sunday. In Barrie, the event is on September 20th at Centennial Park. And I love this. You can walk, you can run, you can bike, and dogs are even welcome to take part. The birthday celebrations, they continue here on CTV Barrie. Coming up next, she's lovingly known as the oldest resident in her region. We'll take you to her stylish soiree. Plus, giving has a domino effect. This annual tradition is more than fun to watch. We'll tell you how it supports your community. You're watching CTV Barrie.
April 29th, 2 chefs, 1 epic showdown. The Peggy Hill team presents the Iron Chef at Tangle Creek. Great food that gives back. All in support of the Busby Center. Get your tickets now. Head to Barrie.
We begin with a very special celebration in Midland today as the town's oldest resident marked a milestone birthday in style.
I have to do something nobody else has done. Oh, I'm coming for 5.
You're gonna try for 105?
Yeah.
Way to go, Jean. That's Jean Johnson, surrounded by friends, family, and community leaders to ring her in her 104th birthday. She's now the oldest resident connected to both Wasaga Beach and Midland, and was all smiles as she received certificates from the King, the Prime Minister, and the Premier.
Happy birthday to you.
I think she's going to go to 110. She says 105. I think it's going to be 110. I think she's going to set a record.
There's not much she couldn't do. She did sewing and cooking and building houses with my dad. Just absolutely incredible.
She's touched all walks of lives from both municipalities, the town of Wasaga Beach and the town of Midland. We are privileged to have dignitaries with us today in support of her day. Again, being involved with everything, she has touched everybody's life in some way, shape, or form that they would want to spend this special day with her, and they are certainly here today.
Of course, no birthday is complete without cake and ice cream, and there was plenty to go around, with Jean now looking forward to her 105th birthday. The town is excited to celebrate her again next year and talk about plenty of cake to go around. They even sent some back for us here at the station. Happy birthday from all of us. Hundreds of cereal boxes were lined up at Frère André School in Barrie today, ready to be toppled over for a fun yet meaningful tradition.
So, vous autres, vous allez être ici au foyer quand on déclenche le domino.
1,165 boxes of cereal. We're gonna build it up through like the whole school, like through all the hallways and everything, and then we're gonna tip it over and everybody's gonna see that.
Go!
This has become one of my favorites. Look at that impressive domino effect, a creative way for students to give back through the 3rd annual Domino des Céréales initiative. The event has grown each year, starting with 780 boxes, then more than 875 last year. Organizers aimed for 1,000 this time around.
It's all about teaching to give back and taking care of the community. They would show up every day with bags of cereal, boxes of cereal, carrying them in, having a hard time bringing them in, so it was great to see that engagement. They'll be delivering it today, and they get to see how the food bank works and how it helps out the community. So it works on a bunch of different levels.
You look at it from the side of the donation, certainly that food helps in ways that we can't express with the numbers we're seeing, but that simple act of getting the children involved develops our donors and volunteers of years to come.
After the final box fell, students loaded up the buses to deliver the donations directly to the Barrie Food Bank. Families welcoming a new baby at Georgian Bay General Hospital will now receive a special send-off. A new baby bundle program has launched, providing gift boxes filled with essentials for newborns and their caregivers. It includes things like a onesie, diapers, wipes, a stuffed animal, and I love this, hand-knitted blankets and hats that were created and donated by local seniors and volunteers. Finally, the Women and Children's Shelter of Barrie is highlighting the importance of mothers with the help of a local moving company.
The mother is normally the glue that holds the family together, is the one that is there, that is fighting for their children from day one, you know, good, bad, and ugly.
Dan Arlo with 2 men and a truck has launched the second annual Movers for Moms campaign. Last year, it collected more than 600 donated items, and now they're hoping to surpass that, asking the community to drop off essential items like diapers and hygiene products and at the local businesses, and it's all to help the shelter.
So we have 29 funded beds. We are always over capacity, closer to 35. Last year, we could not provide support to almost 650 women and children because we were full. We will always find somewhere for those women and kids to go.
You can drop off donations until May 1st, and for a full list of community partners working with 2 men and a truck, you can visit our website. Why don't we go ahead and bring that up, make it easy for you. As always, you can rewatch the newscasts, stories, and read more in-depth articles on the site, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or use your phone to scan that QR code on the screen. Well, as Rob told us not too long ago, the head coach of the Colts is now in the running to be named the best in the league. He'll join us from the Sadlin Arena in just a few minutes. But first, let's head outside. KC is in Bob's garden.
Yes, in the garden. Hey, how can I miss you when you never go away? Don't stay long. I'll let you know how long coming up in a few minutes' time, because our weather watcher, Artiste, have a look. Yeah, Jaden says, Saturday dance party in the yard. I like that talk. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And next week on the show, get ready to start your engines. We're giving away tickets to a monster truck show at the Sadlin Arena.
So make sure you're listening Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Wow, whoever captured that last photo, you could have a future in professional photography. What a moment. We're celebrating spring. Keep them coming. Picture this at ctv.ca. Casey Colby, I owe you an apology. Yes, you are wearing a blue hat, but you are not wearing my blue hat. However, if you've learned to trust me again and we've got past the umbrella debacle, I'd love to borrow that for the Troubadour Festival concerts.
Well, it makes you think I haven't borrowed this from somebody else and they have not yet caught on. That's a possibility. Of course you can borrow it. We got hats. Lots of hats. Oh, so many hats. And you're going to need a different hat as the weather changes over the next little while. Yeah, a toque would probably suffice. Let's talk about the changes in weather and what that's bringing with it. 11 degrees in Owen Sound. 11 degrees here in Barrie, 17, holding on to 17 degrees in Newmarket, 18 in Toronto, 10 in Alliston, 8 in Parry Sound, and 12 degrees as we speak in Gravenhurst. Beautiful Gravenhurst. This is the almanac for today. Record 23 degrees in 2024. 2 years ago, if my math is correct, and stretching back a little more than that for 11.1 degree record low. 6:43 it's up, 7:57 it's down, 13:13. Oh, 13 hours, 13. Oh, I like that. Oh, do you like that though? That's kind of colorful. That's one way of putting it. Let's break it down. Take a look at some of the numbers and see what that colorful radar is all about. Increasing cloud cover. Yes, there is some snow on the way, ladies and gentlemen, for this evening. Some flurries, risk of freezing rain and rain. So, yeah, the weather blender. And overnight, there it is, 0 and -1 for the overnight lows. Tomorrow, 4 and 5 degrees. Snow and some freezing rain possibilities, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. So, yeah, you could use the shovel on that, right? I don't know if you're going to use a snowblower on it, but you could certainly use the shovel on that. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, we're looking at 0 and 1 degree above the freezing mark, partly cloudy skies, 30% chance of a rain-snow mix for this evening. And then for tomorrow, 5, 7, 8 degrees. Rain, snow, certainly a freezing rain risk in the morning. So, yeah, keep that in mind if you've got plans, and most people do. Perry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, overnight -3, -4 increase in cloud cover, and some snow on the way. Some snow flurries for tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. Jockeying back and forth, I love that term, jockeying back and forth between snow and rain. So sloppy is correct. Sarah she was spot on with that. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. Our weather watcher Artisan said good things are coming, and they are indeed. Saturday, 5-day extended forecast, York Region. Or make that Simcoe County sunny and 7 degrees. Dance party in the yard. Yes. Sunday, well, 12 degrees, 60% chance of showers. Lots of cloud cover, ladies and gentlemen. 17 on Monday, and 40% chance shower activity, 60% chance thereof on the Tuesday, and 14 degrees. Saturday, oh, embrace it, 5-day extended forecast. The only glimpse of sunshine after this evening. And it looks like 9 degrees and sunny skies. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Sunday arrives 13 and 40% chance of showers. In fact, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and 18, 17. So we're very mild. Very mild. We are. This is the 5-day extended forecast. Muskoka, Perry Sound, Halliburton. Beautiful Saturday. Beautiful. Beautiful. Perhaps Mother Nature wants to change that up for Sunday, but at this point it looks like rain. Rain. 11 degrees, 16 degrees on Monday, cloudy skies and 60% chance of rain. And then again on the Tuesday, cloudy skies, 13 degrees and some shower activity. You've got a blue hat, Sarah. I've got a blue hat, but we'll trade them in for toques tomorrow. And rain hats the next. Back inside.
We are inching closer to puck drop on round 2 of the OHL playoffs. The Colts and the 67s, very strong teams, but both have struggled with home games when they've been matched up during the regular season. Let's get right back to Sadlon Arena. That's where Rob joins us once again. Rob.
Hi again, Sarah. Well, as you can see and hear, undoubtedly, it is not only getting loud, but busy here at Sadlon Arena for Game 1 of the second round. And what a matchup this one is expected to be. The Barrie Colts hosted the Ottawa 67s again. Round 2 of the OHL playoffs. Just a single point separating these two clubs during the regular season. Now, we had a chance to catch up with Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz earlier today. We not only spoke about the road ahead throughout the playoffs, but also the coach being named as a possible winner of the OHL Coach of the Year. Here's part of our conversation.
Dylan, round 2 of the playoffs start tonight. Big series with Ottawa. How do you match up?
You know what? It's a pretty evenly matched series. You know, that's what the stats would suggest. They're a well-coached team. They're a well-built team. I know that from our side, we're really looking forward to the challenge.
You look at the matchup during the regular season. Interesting. 4 games, home team losing all 4 of those. Does that come into play at all?
I don't know what to make of that. You know, it's just kind of the way it went throughout the regular season. But again, we love playing in front of the Sadlon crowd. They really energize our group. Our guys want nothing more than to put on a show for the great people of Barrie coming to watch us play tonight. So we're looking forward to a good start.
I know you're excited for the rest of the playoffs, yet very calm. But some congratulations in order. Been nominated as potentially the head coach of the year in the OHL. What does that mean to you on a personal level and the fellows you work with?
The first thing I'll say to that is no one cares work harder. It's something that we kind of live and die by here with the Barrie Colts. But again, it's really less to do with me and more to do with my staff, my assistant coaches, Dennis Martindale, Patrick Sexton, Connor Catterat, and of course my mentor, Marty Williamson. You know, without these guys, I'm just a nobody. So these guys make it all possible.
Best of luck on that. Best of luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Dylan.
Okay, back live at a very loud Sadlon Arena. You can see behind me the Colts and 67s on the ice right now for their pregame warm-up. Game time still about 25 minutes away. This is going to be a tight and expected to be a very long series, Sarah. Of course, both teams looking to kick it off on the right track tonight with Game 1. Game 2 is back here on Saturday night. Reporting live at Sadlon Arena, I'm Rob Cooper. Let's go back to you in the newsroom.
Thanks for that, Rob. On the other side of the break, gas prices dip, but some are still changing their habits. Why rideshare drivers are skipping trips they don't think are worth the fuel cost. That plus we'll recap tonight's top stories. Please do stay with us. Recapping our top stories, a 15-year-old has been charged with assault following a violent brawl behind Bear Creek Secondary School. Officers are working to identify everyone involved and may arrests are coming. In particular, police are looking for the young man who came to the fight with a weapon. The trial of a man accused of attempted murder continued in a Barrie courtroom today. The victim, a now 47-year-old Wasaga Beach man, testified he was the victim of a vicious attack, pointing the finger at 24-year-old Kaylin Coote of Toronto, who's charged with attempted murder. And maple syrup producers are reflecting on this season as it comes to a close, especially following last year's ice storm damage. Last year, Hutchinson maple syrup had more than 1,600 taps in the trees. This year, only 570. The season will soon come to a close as trees start to bud. Back to our Colts coverage, but with a fun twist. We know Barrie is now taking on Ottawa, an evenly matched team. Some analysts are saying so. We thought we'd make a friendly wager with our counterparts and my former colleagues from CTV Ottawa. So joining me now is 6 o'clock anchor Patricia Bull.
Hi, Sarah. Joining us now with this wager that was your idea. So great that we're going to exchange jerseys, or not really exchange, but the loser is going to have to put on the opposing team's jersey based on the outcome of this series. Why, Sarah, do you think that the Barrie Colts have such a good chance of beating our Ottawa 67s?
It's really great to be chatting with you, Patricia. This is a tough one for me because, as you know, I worked with you all and lived in Ottawa for 8 years. So it took me some time to shake my allegiance for the Ottawa Senators and the 67s. But I'll be here in Barrie for 4 years this summer. So through and through, I'm a Barrie Colt fan. I won't go as far as saying that I now cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but certainly need to cheer for the hometown OHL team. There's a couple of reasons. We've got a very, very strong team this year. And that's why I think that even though analysts are saying that the two teams are pretty evenly matched. We have some of the top scorers in the league. Both the co-captains, Cole Beaudoin and Kayshawn Aitchison, lead the league in scoring after the first round. Beaudoin, anyhow. Kayshawn will be off to the New York Islanders. He's signed with them. Our head coach, Dylan Smoskowicz, he's been nominated for the Matt Leadon Trophy, which is for the top OHL coach. So for those reasons, I think that it's going to be some pretty tough hockey out there. Not to mention, there's a long-standing battle going on here about the teddy bears, but I'll let you get into that.
Yeah, they had that brawl a season ago, of course, over the teddy bear toss, which was crazy. You mentioned all the star power there. You have a ton. I got Kenny Walls on the phone, who does the play-by-play for these games, and said, what can I fire back at Sarah with when she mentions those guys? And he said, well, we've got the depth. Our coach is also nominated for Coach of the Year award. And in goaltending, we have this phenomenal 18-year-old Ryder Fedorov, who will be ridden hard in this series. They're going to be asking him to perform. And if he does what he can do, then I think the 67s have a really good shot. And I think, Sarah, this massive 67s jersey would look really lovely on your tiny frame at the end of this series. I look forward to seeing that.
I don't know. I think I'd somehow, and feel at home in that jersey. But this right here, I believe, is the logo that both our viewers and yours will be seeing you wear when this series wraps up. Here we go.
You're going to need that horseshoe to make it happen.
Good luck.
The road to the Memorial Cup is brought to you by the Boots and Hearts Barn Burner Charity Hockey Game.
Well, we have been keeping our eyes on the daily price at the pumps, and we saw a drop overnight, but a much bigger drop is expected tomorrow. Gas prices here in Barrie are sitting at around $1.82 a litre. That's down nearly 2 cents. Analysts are still predicting a 13-cent dip to come overnight. Now, with the uncertainty in the Middle East, oil prices are creeping up once again. Let's take a look at the markets now that the day has come to an end. The TSX was down 142 points. The Dow was up 275, and the Nasdaq was up 187. And commodities oil was up, closing at $97.87 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at $4,818 an ounce. And our dollar was up, ending the day at 72.35 cents U.S. Gas prices have yet to return to a comfortable level, and if you need to get around, even ride-share drivers are turning down calls if they think it's not worth the cost of fuel. CTV's Heather Wright brings us more.
Erla Phillips has been a rideshare driver for nearly 10 years, and she has never made less money than she is right now.
It has been really difficult. There's not enough work to go around, and the work that is offered to us is very low paying.
She drives with Uber and Lyft and says the algorithms used by the two companies mean some rides only pay out $2 or $3. That, coupled with the high price of gas, means she's flat out rejecting rides that won't turn a profit.
And you were saying that you used to have a high acceptance rate.
At one point, I was 85%.
And now?
Now it fluctuates between the high teens and 20-something.
Phillips says she's not the only driver struggling. She says some are quitting altogether, while others are losing their cars.
There are drivers that are having their cars repossessed. There are drivers that are going to food banks. I'm one of them, because I can't afford. Not making enough money.
Lyft did not respond to our request for comment. In a statement, Uber says they are giving drivers increased cash back at the pump when they use their Uber Pro card. The intention is to provide relief for drivers and delivery people while rider and consumer prices remain stable and affordable. But some drivers say it's not enough to cover the sky-high price at the pumps.
Can you make money on Uber with the price?
No. And Uber do not increase the price also.
For Erla Phillips, she wants companies like Uber and Lyft to change how they pay their drivers.
This is a service that people rely on, a service that people value, but the companies don't value us. We take all the liability, we take all the expense on our shoulders, and they continue to lower pay.
And this is the reality for many gig workers who are struggling. It's a reminder, Erla Phillips says, to be kind and also tip if possible. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
And on the note of surging prices, we're asking if you're feeling that financial squeeze with a new minimum wage hike taking effect. We're asking you, do you think it's going to be enough to make a real difference? Is this a step forward or just not enough given today's economy? That is our web poll, which can be found at ctvnews.ca/Barrie. So please go on there and share your thoughts. Canadian Tire has revealed a new collection featuring the iconic Hudson Bay Company stripes. The summer line includes everything from canoes and outdoor furniture to towels and pickleball sets. It marks the first time Canadian Tire has designed its own products using the HBC trademarks, which it purchased for $30 million last year. The items will become available in store and online on May 1st. The one-of-a-kind spring market is back at the Enercare Centre in Toronto, bringing together more than 500 Canadian creators and makers. CTV's Jessica Smith brings us a look.
Canadian made and handcrafted.
Here you get to really be intentional with your time, with your hard-earned money, and with your heart.
The annual one-of-a-kind spring market brings together over 500 artisans from across Canada.
I think it's such a special opportunity to have all of these artists from Canada collectively in one space, and it makes it accessible too.
New this year, a garden section.
To walk in, slow down, ignite the senses, and just really enjoy the beauty of nature.
And that just seems made for us. We're a local family flower farm, and the opportunity to bring the country to the city just seemed like a great thing for us to do.
And an area dedicated to high school students with an entrepreneurial mindset.
We've been working on this for a couple months now with 6th graders, 7th graders, and now we're 8th grade. We've gone through the ranks, and being able to see our designs actually come and be able to sell it one of a kind is actually an amazing experience.
The space itself rooted in community and connection.
So many people come back for that reason because they actually have a connection with the people that have made it, and so you just can't get that anywhere else.
Visitors are also invited to support Make-A-Wish and share a wish of their own in a public art display. Supporting Canadian makers, creators, and crafters since 1975, the one-of-a-kind spring market remains dedicated to supporting local from coast to coast to coast. The show runs here at the Enercare Centre until April 12th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Still to come, Artemis II is on its way home, and with it, a gift out of this world. The crew is slated to return to Earth tomorrow night. More on that and the meaningful phone call they received. That story next.
Pure Country 106. Central Ontario's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's Big 50K Payday.
Here's a look at your primetime lineup for back-to-back episodes of The New Girl starting at 8, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. Thanks for staying with us. Day 9 of the Artemis II mission began this morning with another musical wake-up call from Mission Control.
And I'm just a lonesome drifter on the highway.
I love how they made space fun. The crew awoke to the song Lonesome Drifter by Charlie Crockett. Part of today has been spent studying and preparing for re-entry and splashdown, and tomorrow they're slated to arrive home. Now, last night, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and the rest of the Artemis crew received the ultimate long-distance phone call from our Prime Minister, Mark Carney. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin on the chat, and the gift that Hansen is bringing home with him.
We've all been watching and inspired.
Prime Minister Mark Carney dialed up Canadian pride as he reached astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his 3 American colleagues en route back to Earth. And his first question about collaboration, a nod to Canada-U.S. relations, well, in space.
I mean, this is such a unique example for the world and beyond.
You can see we got our flags here together. We're better together.
Carney did have a pointed question regarding a jar of Nutella that was spotted floating through the capsule earlier in the mission.
One point of reassurance that the preference is for maple syrup over Nutella on your pancakes in the morning. I hope.
Absolutely, sir. I can send Christina to get the syrup right away.
That's the syrup floating by. Moments of levity mixed with talk of the risks of spaceflight and what the mission has meant to so many Canadians.
All of you 4 have been really, really good news.
Industry Minister Mélanie Joly also spoke to Hansen about good news in space at a time of difficult news here on Earth. A moment of unity in the midst of difficult geopolitical times.
Before you leave us, Prime Minister, I did want to show you this.
Hansen also had a gift for Carney, a patch, that maple leaf that has been so proudly flying in space.
So I wrote your name on the back, well, your title on the back. Make sure that it gets to you.
Carney also said he was proud to hear French spoken in space and issued an invitation to the crew to come to Ottawa once they're back on Earth. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Longueuil, Quebec.
Turning to sports now. After suffering a trio of injuries last night, the Maple Leafs have just taken to the ice, hoping to stay healthy as they face off with the New York Islanders.
Back on, it's Hudson. Holding on, turning, shooting, kicked away, and down goes Stolars, and he's hurt.
Goalie Anthony Stolars was injured in the first period of the team's game against the Washington Capitals last night. Washington went on to win the game 4-0. Meanwhile, the Masters began earlier today, and 3 Canadians are in the field for the first golf major of the year. Corey Connors, Nick Taylor, and former Masters champion Mike Weir are all taking part. I love that Mikey's still in the game. Rory McIlroy will be looking to become the first player to win back-to-back tournaments since Tiger Woods in 2002. This year's Masters will be the first since '94, which does not include Woods or Phil Mickelson. Live coverage of the tournament can be seen on TSN. Case, this is why everybody should golf. It's a sport that you can play late into life, not on the level that they are, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, there you go. Maybe not tomorrow either, because the get up and go forecast looks a little on the well, it's not really golf friendly side. Here we go. First thing tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. A little bit of shower activity, possibly freezing shower activity, and some snow. 0 in Barrie, 1 degree in Newmarket, -1 in cloudy skies all the way around, and risk of some freezing rain and some snow tomorrow morning. That's no way to start the day tomorrow, but this is one great way to finish it. Sarah, back inside.
Thanks so much to everyone at home for joining us. I'm Sarah Freemark. Jack will wrap things up tonight at 11. Take care, and